Welcome to episode 12 of Hospitality Reinvented, where bold ideas meet strategic action. I'm your host, Doug Radkey, an industry-leading bar, restaurant, and hotel coach and consultant who has developed over 280 successful hospitality concepts worldwide. Now, in the last episode, we talked about the concept development playbook, how it extracts your vision into clear, actionable deliverables to guide your brand's identity and guest experience and overall operational model. But having a solid concept isn't quite just enough. You need to know how that concept fits within a physical space before you seek out a location or a property or even go and sign a lease. That's where the prototype playbook starts to come in. Too many operators rush into leasing a space before understanding what they actually need. I cannot tell you how many times I, ask a prospective client what stage they're at, and they tell me they're about to sign a lease over the next week or so. And when I ask how they know it's the right space, it's often counteracted with, it's a great space and a high traffic spot, or something along those lines. They fall in love with a location before testing whether it truly works for their concept. This is one of the biggest mistakes that I see in this industry during the startup phase. Your business model should drive the location, not the other way around. So this episode today is all about why you need a prototype playbook before securing a location and how it will serve you in both the short term and the long term. So what is a prototype playbook? A prototype playbook is really this strategic bridge between your business model and your physical footprint. It works, hand in hand with your conceptual playbook that we talked about on the last episode. It's a guide that helps you visualize a theoretical space, test layouts, optimize your flow, and ensure that the concept works in any location that meets your criteria. It should be flexible enough to adjust to different spaces while also defining the minimum and the maximum, parameters of your brand's footprint. Think of it as your functional blueprint, a structured, framework that outlines how your space should operate before you even commit to leasing or purchasing a property. So what's the first step in creating this playbook? The first step is creating a test drawing. One of the biggest advantages of a prototype playbook is that it allows you to visualize your entire space, whether, it's a 2,000 square foot quick serve restaurant or a 5,000 square foot fine dining restaurant or, even a 50-room boutique hotel. First, you want to start with a 2D test layout to sketch out the foundational elements, where your bar is going to be, how the kitchen is going to flow, how guests will move throughout the space, how many, hotel rooms do you need, per floor, and how many floors do you need. This is where you begin to see whether your initial vision aligns with real world operational needs. Now, in hospitality, space is money, right? A prototype playbook ensures that you allocate every square foot in a way that optimizes your guest comfort and operational efficiency and revenue potential. You want to look at, back of house efficiencies. How much space does the kitchen need to support your menu execution? Can your bar handle peak traffic? For hotels, is your housekeeping area streamlined enough for quick turnaround times? What about the front of house space and the front of house experience? Are dining areas and lounge spaces and waiting areas comfortable and intuitive for your operations? How many tables and chairs fit within the front of house space? How does that, tie back to your financial model that you need to survive in this business? What about a designated takeout or delivery pickup area? Are high revenue, zones such as bars and patios and bottle service sections, are they maximized? What size hotel rooms do you need? And what's the strategic mix of beds and room sizes to fit your revenue model? Can spaces be, flexible? Can a private dining area maybe convert into a daytime co-working space? Can a hotel, lobby double as a social lounge? Without intentional space allocation, you risk wasting valuable real estate, or worse, overcrowding and frustrating both your guests and your staff, right? The next step in your playbook should be test flowing your production sequences. So your kitchen, your bar, your housekeeping, your service stations, they need to be designed for speed, efficiency, and workflow continuity. The Prototype Playbook allows you to test workflows before committing to a specific build out. You want to test production efficiency to ensure that your service isn't bottlenecked maybe at the kitchen pass or a bar station. We recently reviewed a layout that was completed by a kitchen, design firm that was optimized for the kitchen team, but we noticed that it would create major complications for the service staff for both picking up dishes and also returning dishes to be washed. We had to come up with solutions that would benefit both teams. You have to create a flow that is optimized for all staff movement in all of the positions. You want to reduce unnecessary steps and create, ergonomic stations that keep your teams efficient. Now, what about your vendor deliveries? How does that flow of new goods, or waste, flow throughout your property? You got to look at that as well. Where are your staff rest areas and restrooms or change rooms? What about training facilities? You want to, streamline prep and storage areas to improve speed and also consistency. Every second saved, in the back of house translates into better guest experiences and also increased profitability for your brand. Now, what about guest flow? The next area to test out is the guest flow within your concept. A great hospitality experience isn't just about, what guests consume. It's about how they move throughout the space as well. Is the entrance welcoming enough? Is there an efficient, counter space for ordering or check-in or a host stand, process happening within this concept? Does the seating arrangement support social, interactions? Are high traffic areas well placed? Where should the restrooms be placed within this style of concept? How many do you need based on your concept? Where do people go to wait? What about, again, delivery drivers? Can guests leave without, congestion or frustration? Our payment and checkout processes, can they be seamless in this layout? Every point of guest interaction should feel intuitive and efficient and memorable. Now that your concept is laid out and you've tested it operationally, what about the costs? Your dream concept might look great now, on paper, but does it align with real world financial constraints? The easiest way to plan for this is to estimate your build out expenses based on zone allocations and space needs. Break your square footage and the number of floors and the number of rooms or the areas down into micro zones now that you have tested out your layouts. Now you can catalog the number of fixtures and the furniture that you need and each and every piece of equipment that you need and any other design elements that you need in each and every zone. A prototype playbook, it really ensures that cost expectations are realistic and that funding requirements are clear before finalizing the other playbooks that we will be covering on future episodes. A prototype playbook will provide realistic budgets to investors that align with your financial playbook and your return on investment. And at KRG Hospitality, we provide annual cost guides for coffee shops and QSRs and bars and restaurants and nightclubs and hotels across 5 different hotel segments, helping operators budget accurately and avoid financial blind spots. Now, if you want a copy of these, go check out the insights and the resources page over at krghospitality.com. Now, before I wrap up here, hear me out. Whether you are opening a single unit or planning for multiple locations, your playbook should define the minimum and the maximum footprint of your concept. The best concepts adapt to different spaces without losing their identity. Your concept and its prototype should be flexible. A prototype playbook gives investors confidence that you've thought through every operational detail, making funding and the approval of funding so much easier. I have stressed this on each of the first 3 playbooks that we have discussed so far. And pending your startup budgets, maybe you can also, advance to 3D models or augmented reality or, AR once you begin refining your design and begin moving forward towards, finalizing a location along with your designs and your permits and your procurement. AR allows you to literally step inside your concept before permits are finalized and construction ever begins, allowing you to, catch inefficiencies and rework layouts and ensure that the space is optimized for both staff and guest experience. If you are serious about building a sustainable, scalable hospitality business, the Prototype Playbook isn't optional. It is a non-negotiable. It ensures your concept fits into the right space, operates efficiently, and remains financially viable long before signing a lease or even beginning construction. Thank you for tuning in to episode 12 of the Hospitality Reinvented podcast. If you found this episode valuable, please like, share, and also subscribe. For more insights, visit krghospitality.com, where you can subscribe to our email list and also access exclusive resources and impact videos. Until next time, stay bold, stay innovative, and let's keep reinventing hospitality together.